Listen, man, I hope this is my last time I ever got to do a video like this because I do not like having to make rants about Fairy Tail. You guys already know I am the biggest supporter of Fairy Tail on this app. I know it's cool to like Fairy Tail now. A lot of people who are making videos about Fairy Tail, they weren't there during the dark ages when I had to defend Fairy Tail back on my other channel, Underrated Games. So just to let you guys know, I am not a Fairy Tail hater, and you guys can already see that from my channel. I literally have been making videos about this series for 8 years, so the fact that I gotta keep on doing rants as of lately, this doesn't make me happy. I want to do videos like how I was doing 8 years ago when I was just doing a whole bunch of theories about this series, but sadly, I cannot do that anymore because it looks like that the creator of Fairy Tail, Hiro Mashima, he has finally grown tired of drawing and writing Fairy Tail. Yes, I do believe that Hiro Mashima is tired of writing Fairy Tail, and there's been a lot of subtle hints that he's been giving us, and I'm going to be going over all the hints that I've been picking up on the reasons why I believe that Hiro Mashima, he low-key just wants Fairy Tail to end, and he wants to move on to other projects. Now, number one, we see Hiro Mashima, he has been doing a lot of new series lately. It started off with Eden Zero, and now he's doing Dead Rock. When Eden Zero first came out alongside Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, I was already a little bit shook. I was like, okay, this is kind of wild. This man is taking on 2 series at the same time, one weekly and one bi-weekly, but then we found out he wasn't even going to be drawing Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest. Now this is a big thing because Hiro Mashima, his art style is fire. He is very iconic and unique for having his old art style. So the fact that Fairy Tail wasn't going to be having that, I was already shocked. Now don't get me wrong, Atsuo Uda, he did a great job at writing Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, but it just don't hit the same with Hiro Mashima not drawing it. I'm not gonna lie. Hiro Mashima not drawing Fairy Tail, that was already a huge red flag. And then the fact that he chose to go weekly with Eden Zero over Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, that was another huge red flag because yo, if anything, he should have made Eden Zero bi-weekly, then made Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest weekly. So I was already shook when he decided to prioritize Eden Zero over Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, and then he ended up rushing Eden Zero's ending. So it's like Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, it got put on the back burner for nothing. So that was crazy. Me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of Eden Zero, only because the way how Hiro Mashima handled it. Like, yo, I can tell you the exact moment when I fell off the Eden Zero hype train. As soon as we had Ziggy versus Jaguar versus Poseidon in a 3v3 heavyweight match, a 1v1v1, as soon as we had that fight get hyped up to us and then it ended in complete trash, I was like, okay, I'm good off Eden Zero. You can't have 3 of the top tier people going at each other and then they all just end up one-shotting each other. Like, that was just straight up trash. That's when I knew that Hiro Mashima, he had no game plan for Eden Zero, and that's when I officially jumped off the hype train for Eden Zero. And as far as for Dead Rock, listen, gang, I don't read anime and manga illegally anymore. I don't read it for free, so I haven't even bothered paying that dollar to read Dead Rock. Let me know in the comment section down below. Is Dead Rock worth paying that dollar every month to read? Because right now, I am good off not catching up on Dead Rock. I would just be honest. And one of the main reasons why I'm not too pressed on catch up to Dead Rock is because it's heavily inspired by Fairy Tail. This is one thing I don't understand. Why did Hiro Mashima not prioritize Fairy Tail only to have his other series be very similar to Fairy Tail? Like Eden Zero, the main characters, the main 4, they highly resemble the main 4 of Fairy Tail. You got Natsu and Shiki, Lucy and Rebecca. Weiss and Gray is like the only kind of different character, but at the same time they're like the playboy funny type. And then you got Homura Urza, the stoic strong swordswoman. So Eden Zero, it just felt way too much like Fairy Tail. Not to mention you had Urza and Jalal getting back together in that series. So Hiro Mashima, I don't know what he was doing when it came to Eden Zero. But Dead Rock is even worse because, yo, you got this man, the main character literally has Actologia's power. Like, come on, bro. Just bring back Actologia Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest and just write him perfectly. I don't know how you're going to do it, but just bring back Actologia. And then he's teasing us with Natsu and Lucy's daughter potentially being in Dead Rock, basically they have the girl with pink hair. She has fire abilities, and a lot of people, including myself, we were thinking, oh, this might mean that she might be a descendant of Natsu and Lucy. There's a high possibility that Dead Rock, it might take place within the same universe as Fairy Tail. But even if it does, why prioritize these other series that are similar to Fairy Tail instead of prioritizing Fairy Tail? That's what I never understood. Fairy Tail, this is Hiro Mashima's bread and butter. I know that he did Rave Master, but he got known off of Fairy Tail. And the fact that he just throwing Fairy Tail to the side for these other series, but yet he makes these other series similar to Fairy Tail, I'm just scratching my head. I'm like, yo, what is going on? What does Hiro Mashima have? What is he thinking? This man is cooking and it smells like the food is getting burnt. So yeah, this is why I knew when Hiro Mashima started prioritizing the other series, this meant that he was not going to be focusing on Fairy Tail. And it's sad, man, because listen, I enjoy Fairy Tail. It's still one of my favorite series. It's just the quality has been dropping so low, and I just really can't get as hype as I used to be. Like, I want to be making a whole bunch of different theories and videos, but I'm gonna be honest, I can't be more invested in the series than the old creator is, because then I'll just be making a whole bunch of theories, and then when the chapters come out, they'll just be super disappointing. And one of the reasons why I kind of held my tongue on Fairy Tail 100 Plus for the longest was, I'm gonna be honest, I'm a content creator, gang. So when I saw that Fairy Tail 100 Quest was back, I was just going off of the hype. I was just excited that I had Fairy Tail content to make. But once I sat back and once I got into basically knowing that Fairy Tail 100 Quest was going to be long running, that's when I started looking at the series differently, and even the writing just in of itself, with the last two arcs, with the Vernice arc and then the Doggermag arc being both back-to-back blunders in my opinion. That's what made me really start looking at Fairy Tail 100 Quest differently. And another reason why I think Hiro Mashima hates Fairy Tail is because he rushes through the Fairy Tail 100 Quest arcs now. Yes, it seems like that every single arc, it's guaranteed to be around 25 or 30 chapters, and every time we get into an arc, it's so linear and boring. It is way too predictable. We literally go into an arc, get revealed about the Dragon God's location, go and fight him, and then we defeat him. There is literally barely any plot twist when it comes to the Dragon Gods. The only plot twist with the Dragon God that I can remember is with Selene and how she ended up joining the humans. But as far as Mercphobia, Aldron, Bernice, we met them. Doggermag 2, we met them, we clapped them, we moved on. So boring, man. Like, where are the plot twists? This is Fairy Tail, the series that was known for having amazing plot twists. And with every single arc, it's literally just so simple and linear. It feels like that Hiro Mashima isn't even trying. It's literally been so bland. He's just giving us the bare minimum when it comes to writing the arcs for Fairy Tail 100 Quest, and that's what I don't like. I feel like that Hiro Mashima, he's just been rushing through all the Fairy Tail 100 Quest arcs, so I definitely do think that with this arc that we're currently in, that could be the final arc. If Hiro Mashima does make this arc long, he could end up redeeming himself, because this arc, I'm not gonna lie, it has potential to be greatness, but with Hiro Mashima's track record, I'm starting to say that I don't really trust him. And that's crazy, because you guys know how long I've been riding for Fairy Tail. I was riding for Fairy Tail in the dark ages when it was cool to hate on Fairy Tail. And it's kind of funny because now that Fairy Tail has gained a lot of light on its name, I'm starting to be the one that's disappointed in it, and I'm starting to be the one that doesn't like it. Now, obviously, I'm always going to keep on reading and watching Fairy Tail just because I'm already invested into it, gang, and I just want to see how it's going to end. And I don't hate this series, I'm just disappointed. Again, I want to emphasize, I'm not a Fairy Tail hater. I just hope that Fairy Tail actually gets taken serious by Hiro Mashima, and I hope that he actually does realize that Fairy Tail is his moneymaker, and he should focus on it rather than focusing on all these other fodder irrelevant other series. Listen, you can do all these side series, but you should prioritize Fairy Tail, man. Don't be prioritizing all these other series that are similar to Fairy Tail rather than just prioritizing Fairy Tail. And the last reason why I think that Hiro Mashima hates Fairy Tail is because he stopped developing the characters, and he doesn't even develop his pairings. Yes, the characters for Fairy Tail 100 Quest, they have been very stagnant. Now I know that certain characters, they have grown a lot over the series, like Urza, Lucy, but Natsu, Gray, these guys, they barely get any development, and these guys are the main character. I seen an amazing comment by one of my commenters the other day, basically saying how Natsu, he's been super stagnant and he hasn't had any real development ever since Fairy Tail 100 Quest started. This man hasn't been losing. He's literally been being a meme and a joke in all of his fights. So I definitely do think that Natsu, he's been the worst when it comes to character development in Fairy Tail 100 Quest. It's like Hiro Mashima doesn't even care about this man. So I definitely do hope that Hiro Mashima in this arc he develops Natsu and all of them. It might be too late because it obviously is going to be one of the final arcs, but this arc, it could be a huge game changer because Hiro Mashima, he could use this arc to set up for Fairy Tail Next Generation. And I definitely do think that this arc, it could be the sink or swim for Fairy Tail 100 Quest. However this arc plays out, if it gets rushed, then I think that Fairy Tail 100 Quest, it will go down as a series that just had all the potential, but Hiro Mashima, the author himself, he never capitalized on it. Or if he takes this arc seriously and he actually adds in major plot twists and actually throws in curveballs like he has a chance to, because we have so many different antagonists, there's so many different things set up, then Fairy Tail 100 Quest, I do think it can be redeemed from those last two bad arcs. If this arc is long and if it's good and if it sets up the story and develops the story and the characters more, then I think that this arc, it could make up for the last two arcs I think were a blunder. But as far as the pairings go, the development or the underdevelopment, as I should say, that has just been trash. That has been tragic. One of the main reasons why Fairy Tail is popular is because of its pairings. And if we should have been had more development with the pairings, we should have had Natsu and Lucy growing together, Gray and Juvia growing together. I'll give him credit. He did do Urza and Jalal the best. We see that those two, they're the only two that actually started confessing their feelings towards each other. Gray a little bit, but he still acts standoffish towards Juvia sometimes. And Natsu and Lucy, this has just been atrocious. This has been the most underdeveloped pairing out of them all, and this is the main pairing. I'm not even gonna lie. The way how Hiro Mashima has been handling Natsu and Lucy, it has been trash. The only time they really even get some type of parent development is if they're doing some type of fan service, Natsu like checking out Lucy, lifting up her shirt, some type of like super over the board gag, funny fan service moment. But other than that, these two have been getting no development towards their pairing. They haven't moved from the ending of Fairy Tail to Fairy Tail 100 Quest. They haven't moved at all in terms of actually becoming a couple, and it's sad because Hiro Mashima, he should have been developing the pairing so that we could get excited for Fairy Tail Next Generation. And speaking of Fairy Tail Next Generation, Hiro Mashima might have been hinting at him getting tired of drawing Fairy Tail back when he said that he would do Fairy Tail Next Generation only if the fans wanted it. Yes, Hiro Mashima, he said that he'll only do Fairy Tail Next Generation if we want it. So that might have been a little subtle hint from Hiro Mashima. He might have been telling us, yo gang, I'm getting tired of drawing this. And to be honest, I would rather have Hiro Mashima just flat out say that he's tired of drawing Fairy Tail rather than just running Fairy Tail 100 Quest into the ground. Because to be honest, I think that Fairy Tail 100 Quest, it had potential to be one of the best sequels of all time, like Naruto Shippuden to Naruto, Dragon Ball Z to Dragon Ball, even Dragon Ball Super to Dragon Ball Z. Me personally, I love Dragon Ball Super, and I think that Fairy Tail 100 Quest, it could have been up there with all those other sequels to the classic iconic animes, but to be honest, it dropped the ball due to poor mismanagement, and it's honestly sad because in the beginning, it felt like that it was good. When the Dragon Gods were fresh and new to us, I was like, okay, this is dope. But as Hiro Mashima just kept on recycling the same old concepts for the arcs over and over, I was like, okay, it's obvious that Fairy Tail 100 Quest, it started to become stale, and it's sad to say because I had high hopes for this series. I thought this easily could have been one of the best series of all time, but it ended up turning out to be just average the way that it's going. Now again, this arc, it is the make or break for Fairy Tail 100 Quest. If this arc knocks it out the park, then I think that Hiro Mashima, he can make up for his blunders in the beginning. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't got faith in Hiro Mashima, and I don't know if he will ever be able to come back and start putting in the effort that he once had for Fairy Tail into Fairy Tail 100 Quest. So this is why I believe that Hiro Mashima, he actually dislikes and hates drawing Fairy Tail now. I think he honestly just got burnt out from it. And to be honest, I think it might have been because he was trying too many different series. Like, yo, I don't know who Hiro Mashima was trying to impress with his work ethic, but him doing all these series and not taking breaks, that was the beginning of the end for Fairy Tail. Like, yo, I don't know who told him to do the idea of just keep on pumping out all these series, but nah, man, that was not it. Whoever told him to do that, That was the biggest sabotager in human history. They set up Hiro Mashima for failure. And honestly, I think that if Hiro Mashima would have taken a break after doing Fairy Tail, rather than jumping right into Eden Zero and Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, then he would have actually had time to relax, recuperate, plan out the story, and Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, it could have fulfilled the potential that it actually had. But overall, that's basically it on my opinion on the current state of Fairy Tail. I think that this arc, it still does have potential to change it, but from the way how Hiro Mashima has been writing Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest lately, I think that he's honestly grown tired of it, and I don't know if he will actually make this final arc of Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest end up being a banger. Comment what you guys see down below. Subscribe if you haven't. Remember to put your faith in the Jesus Christ because he died for all of our sins so that we all can make it to heaven. Peace out.